guys, TT here with another vlog. This is going to be some tough love. So this is for the women of my generation, the women who are 30 plus, who are raising young girls in particular, but to mothers in general. I support black women 100%. I feel that we all have so much potential within us. Because we've given our power over to these men, we are not living up to our full potential. So this woman here, and I'm going to post her comment so you can read it yourself, because I just think it's vile, it's disgusting, and even more than that, it's sad to know that there are women out there who are making excuses for these dirty down-low dogs out here who want to manipulate and take advantage of young girls, and women who should have these young girls back and who should be supporting them through the trauma that they had to go through as children. We should be supporting them, and instead we're making excuses because these women were raped as children or they were taken advantage of, that it's okay now for their daughters to go through the same thing. Rape and molestation is not a rite of passage. If she goes through that, that is trauma. She's a victim and she deserves to heal from that. And she shouldn't be taken advantage of by these rapists and pedophiles and perverts who are lurking within the family, within the church, within the school, within the legal system, the foster system, and the youth justice system. They are everywhere, these perverts and pedophiles. And these men are not going to protect these girls from these dogs. So it's up to us females to do that and to look out for our young girls. I don't care if you think that she's a whore. I don't care if you think that she's a hoe. It's not enough for women today to call young girls hoes. And I'll get to that subject in another video because that's a subject unto itself. For this one, a few things to the mothers out there. First of all, get these men away from your goddamn daughters. There's no reason why a woman who doesn't have a man in her life can't step up to the plate and do her damn job as a mother and raise her children. If you don't have a man around, if your man drops dead today, you're telling me that you can't handle your fucking business and take care of your children? That if a man is not around, everything goes to shit, and now your children get neglected, your daughters become whores, and your sons become thugs because you can't raise your children without a man? This is not an excuse anymore. It's not an excuse to say, well, these single mother homes are bad because we don't have fathers in them. The men can go on and say that shit because they want to feel like they're important, that they're necessary and needed. But if we as mothers, we don't have the fathers around, yes, we can still do the job. Don't be stupid. You can still get it done. You can still raise your children. You don't need the man around to help you necessarily. If he's not there, do what you have to do. Yes, it's nice if he's there, blah, blah, blah. But if he is not there, then women are responsible for their children. Number two, get the fuck out of the club. You do not need to be in the club, especially if you have a teenage daughter. Why are you in the club? Looking for what? You are taking care of children. When you're finished taking care of your children, then you can go back out there with your old pussy and try to go find a man. You do not need to be in the club when you have young daughters who are in their teens, especially. The men who you want to find in the club, the men who you are bringing into your home, they're not even interested in your old ass. They're interested in your little teenage daughters. They're just hanging around you so they can get access to her. It's disgusting. Old ass women do not need to be in the club. If you're 30 plus and you have children, get the fuck out of the club. Let the single girls go out there and mingle inside the club looking for men. You old ass women do not need to go finding men. You need to pay attention to your children and do your business as mothers and stop going into these clubs looking for sex. You can do without some sex. Number three, if you went through the trauma that a lot of these women have gone through, because there are a lot of women from this generation who are 30 plus who have had to deal with the trauma of being raped and molested by their teachers, their pastors, and people who are in positions of authority and who should be looking out for these young girls. And these girls are raped and molested, and a lot of us, especially black women, feel that it's okay, that it's somehow, it's normal. It happens in almost every black family. No, it does not. It is unacceptable. It is not right. It is not your fault, and you need to heal from that. Do not blame yourself from that, and at no time ever do you ever try to justify it and think that it is okay. Heal from the trauma. Now, I was not molested by my people, but I did deal with sexual trauma at a young age that took me onto a path that no young girl should ever have to find herself on. And it took me years of meditation, self-reflection, and self-actualization, and a lot of introspection and isolation. And you know, I did the 5 years of celibacy because I needed to cleanse myself and my sexual aura from all of that. And women who go through that trauma will benefit greatly from celibacy and therapy if you can access it, but a lot of self-reflection and just reminding yourself that it is not your fault. You did not do anything wrong. And once you overcome that, once you heal from the trauma, then you can go on to have sex. But until you heal from that trauma, you should not be sleeping with men, and you should not try to be intimate with these men when you have not yet dealt with or process the trauma that you've been through. Number 4, stop making excuses for these men. At no time should you ever say, well, or feel that it's some sort of female code to back up your sisters. If a woman has been raped, if a woman has been molested, I don't care if you want to consider it some type of sister code. Be damned, let it be a sister code. But we owe it to those who have been assaulted and traumatized sexually and otherwise. We owe our support to them. At the very least, we owe it to them to just shut the fuck up and stop supporting these men. It's a slap in the face. And this thing continues on, the cycle, it continues on through generations because women will not stop. They're here begging for fucking dick. They're so desperate for these men not to call them bed wenches and hoes and bitches, and so they bow down to these men just because they're so afraid to speak up. So then they become submissive. They submit to these men, and especially the black females in this pro-black community over here. And I'm not giving these white hoes a pass or these non-black hoes because they're there too supporting rapists because they want the men to like them because they're so desperate. Women have to stop being desperate. Men are desperate. They will do anything for some pussy. You don't have to work hard for it. I don't know why women think they do. And the only reason why women feel like they have to work hard is because we've given these men all this power. Stop bowing down to these men. Stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses for rapists. But also stop blaming them for things that they didn't do. When you accuse a man of rape, and a man does not rape you, or you accuse him of molestation or assault or whatever it may be, you're doing a disservice to the girls and to the women who are actually victims of rape. So do not make false accusations at any time. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help actual victims, and it actually helps these men. It gives people a reason to ignore accusations of rape. It gives women more of a reason not to report because they're afraid of what the consequences might be, or they're afraid that people might not believe them. So please, if you are not going to help, and if you're just going to be telling lies and making false accusations, just shut the fuck up. It's the least that you can do. At no time should any woman be supporting R. Kelly. Even if you support him in silence. Don't make anybody hear you supporting that fucking shit. I don't care if he was acquitted or not. And especially to hear people who are always talking about this system of white supremacy. That's all they're on. This system of white supremacy. The justice system is unjust. And then they turn right back around and say the same system of white supremacy, the same justice system that's unjust and unfair and blah, blah, blah. The same system is the same system that found R. Kelly not guilty. And now they believe in the fucking system? I mean, come on, women, get your shit together. Stop making these men define who you are and what you are and why you are that. Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Their masculinity is threatened. Their masculinity is so fragile. They think that if they don't get some pussy, that they're not a fucking man. They feel like if a man over there seems a little bit effeminate, that it's going to destroy them as men. Every fucking little thing is a threat to their masculinity. If a woman gets an abortion, he's emasculated. If a woman gets a fucking degree, he's emasculated. If a woman gets some child support, he's emasculated. If a woman gets to go on a vacation, she gets a job, she gets married, she gets fucked, it's emasculating him. Every fucking thing is a threat to his masculinity, and these men who feel threatened by everything, we're supposed to consider them men and bow down to them. If it's not these black women on this side bowing down to white men, bowing down under their balls, it's black women bowing down under black men's balls. Like, when are we going to have these men come under us and bow down before our pussy? Why is it that we're always bowing down to them? It's sick. I see myself getting worked up, so I'm going to leave it there, and I'm just going to wish everybody happy holidays for those who celebrate, and I'll see you in the next one.